Hi everyone, I'm Alex, and welcome to the very first episode of Off the Shelf, our brand new show where we come to you with some of our favorite new items for upper elementary age kids. I hope you enjoy it.
Hey you guys, my name's Ellie, and this episode's deep dive is all about lights, camera, mystery. We are focusing today on this mystery series, Goldie Vance. This series started out as a graphic novel, and they're still making the graphic novels, but they just branched out into novels. So this is the first one, Goldie Vance and the Hotel Whodunit. The second one just came out. It's Goldie Vance and the Hocus Pocus Hoax. So I want to talk about the first one though, since it's the first in the book series. It's about this girl Goldie. She works at this fancy resort with her dad, and this resort just so happens to be full of Hollywood types and reporters because they're filming a movie there. And the movie is a sea monster feature, so there's all sorts of make-up people and mermaids going around. But it is all fun and dandy until a diamond-encrusted swim cap gets stolen. And someone who is very close to Goldie is a main suspect. And I'm going to read you just a little snippet of this book from when that happens. Mr. Davenport, the Hollywood guy, points to Mom, who has sat listening to this entire conversation looking very worried. Walt is horrified. I'm horrified. This can't be happening. Do something, Mr. Davenport says. Walt doesn't know where to turn or look. Walt, you can't be serious, I say. I'm sorry, Goldie. Walt walks over to Mike. Seconds later, they call Mom for questioning. My stomach is about to drop. This can't be happening. Walt can't possibly have it in him to convince the Mermaid Club owners, my mom's bosses for so long, to not only get her fired, but to also send her to the cops? What is this movie madness? I wish Mr. Davenport and this entire creature feature had never come to the Cross Palms. The longest movie shoot day ever has now turned into the most horrible day, all because of a diamond swimming cap and a man who can't see beyond his fury. But I won't get angry. I need to think fast, act fast, and find the thief. Goldie Vance, you guys. If you want to know who the thief is, you're going to have to read this book. Is it her mom? Is it her? Is it someone else? Who knows? Another fun little quick thing about this book, too, is it does a little throwback to its graphic novel roots. We have a couple pages of graphic novel in here. It's a very fun read, a very fast read, and I highly encourage it. And like I said, the second book just came out, brand spanking new. Some other mystery series, though, if that didn't get you, we have Maccabee Kid Spy. Mac Barnett, he's an author, but before that, he was a kid, and when he was a kid, he was a spy. This book is very cute. It's like a cross between Diary of a Wimpy Kid and James Bond, and this is how it's on the inside. So a very fun read. Or if you're looking for something old, we have The Westing Game, which is a oldie but a goodie. This is a mystery novel from 1978 about a super rich man who passes away, and his will is basically a puzzle. And all of the tenants in an apartment complex are all racing to solve the puzzle of his will in order to get his fortune, like $200 million. So it's very good, and there's a couple twists in there. So all three of these books are great mystery reads, and I hope you'll literally check some of them out from your library and give them a try. Thanks for listening.
Hi everybody, I'm Elizabeth, and I am excited to share with you today some new installments in popular series. These are books that are part of a series and that I have come to AADL recently, so that they are on our new shelf and you can check them out. The first one I want to talk to you about is Tristan Strong Keeps Punching. This is the third installment in the Tristan Strong series. And if you don't know, Tristan is a super cool kid who got some special powers from the gods. And right now in this book, he is at a family reunion in New Orleans, and there's some trouble there. He's struggling to control his anger and keeps accidentally making fire fists, which he has to learn to control. A lot of other stuff happens in this one too. Next, I wanted to share with you the new Boxcar Children's series, Creatures of Legend. This one is called Mermaids of the Deep Blue Sea, and this is when the 4 Alden siblings visit Puerto Rico and they learn about beautiful mermaids that live in the bay, but they also hear about some spookier things that live there too. So this is the new Boxcar Children installment. Now, this is the latest in the Vanderbeekers series. This is the 5th book in this series. The Vanderbeekers are a biracial family that live in New York City. And in this one, which is called The Vanderbeekers Lost and Found, they help their neighbor get ready for the New York City Marathon and also are investigating and helping a mysterious person that's sleeping in the community garden. This is a series that's not actually new. It came out in 2019, but it is new to the library. We just got some of these titles. This is the Time Twisters series, and this features real historical figures going on some time travel adventures. And as the back says, you can believe some of it. So the historical figures are real, but the adventures they have are not necessarily real. But this one is about Abigail Adams. Other ones are Abraham Lincoln, Amelia Earhart, and Neil Armstrong and Nat Love. So check out the Time Twisters series. And lastly, I wanted to share the newest installment in the Tale Spinners series, which features Indira, who is a super powerful girl who saves the world on a number of occasions. Most recently, she has saved Imagination from the anti-heroes, and she is on vacation, but of course she doesn't get to vacation for long because a new adventure finds her. So this is the Tale Spinners Breaking Badlands and the 3rd book in this series. So if you're interested in any of these, you can check them out at AADL. And if you haven't read any of these series, you might want to start with the first installment in each one.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex, and this time around I want to share with you some of the amazing atlases the library's added to its collection. For example, I have here Only in America, which is an atlas of the quirky, campy, wonderful things you can find in this country. Now, it is unfortunately just the 50 states, so there are no fun facts about places like Puerto Rico or the US territories. But it makes up for it with these incredibly beautifully illustrated pages. Here we have Alaska and all kinds of fun facts, like apparently every summer Alaska has 17 trillion mosquitoes. And if you put all those mosquitoes together and put them on a scale, they would collectively weigh 96 million pounds, which is so much. Or there's also fun facts like apparently there's a town in Alaska that elected the same cat as mayor for 20 years, and that cat's name was Stubbs, which is super cute. Or you could skip down to California and learn all kinds of fun things. For example, the town of Mecca has the International Banana Museum, which if you Google it, looks kind of fun. Or if you're ever in San Luis Obispo, you could check out the Bubblegum Alley, which sounds like it's a little bit like our graffiti alley here in Ann Arbor, but instead of spray paint, if you go there, you'll see over 2 million pieces of gum covering the walls, which is simultaneously the most disgusting thing I can think of, and also in its way kind of spectacular. Or you could hop over to Michigan and learn all kinds of fun facts about the place we live. For example, you may already have known, but apparently there are more lighthouses in Michigan than any other state in the country. And also something I did not know, the town of Yale has a yearly Bologna festival, and every year they elect a king or queen of bologna, which is so weird and so wonderful. Next up, I have a different kind of atlas. This one is all about space, the night sky, and the planets and wonderful objects that inhabit the universe. It's also gorgeously illustrated and starts out with all kinds of fun facts about the constellations and what they meant to various cultures across the world. For example, here's the night sky as the ancient Greeks saw it. And here's the night sky as it was seen by people living in southern Africa. It's also filled with all kinds of fun sciencey things too. Like here is a beautiful infographic about the sun, filled with all kinds of facts about the different parts of the sun and all sorts of interesting things to know in the periphery. And if you zoom in real close, you can see this tiny little dot, which shows you how big the Earth is compared to the sun. There are all kinds of things packed into this book, like, for example, this is what light pollution looks like in the world. And these bright spots are places on Earth where it's probably hard to see very many stars at night. But there are also things like this beautiful illustration of the Crab Nebula, which apparently started out with a supernova about 1,000 years ago that was so bright that it could be seen with the naked eye at night. You would definitely need a telescope to see this nebula now, though. Last up, I have the Atlas of Monsters and Ghosts. Now, this one is a little bit of a cheat. As you can tell, this has seen a little wear and tear. This book came out in 2019, so it's only sort of newish, but it is so good and so beautiful. For example, here is a map of Europe filled with all of these different creatures from stories and folklore. For example, here's Dracula. And if you flip a couple pages, here he is again, with all sorts of interesting little facts about him. Or you could hop over to Asia and learn about creatures and characters from folklore in that part of the world. I see Yeti here, and I can skip over to Yeti's page here and learn about Yeti, also known as the Abominable Snowman. Or I could skip over to North America and learn about Yeti's cousin Bigfoot, who is abominable in his own special way. And that's all I have for you this time around. Thanks so much.
You guys chose such good books. For our viewers, we didn't know what books the others were choosing. And I was so excited. You guys, like, incredible, amazing. Elizabeth, I'm so happy you talked about Tristan Strong. I really like that series so far because it's still going and have been I was thinking about talking about it myself. So I'm so happy you touched on it. And like, honestly, I might talk about like those books later. Full disclosure. It's so good.
Yeah, that's a great series that I would absolutely recommend to everyone who hasn't gotten the chance to read it yet. And it's still going, and it should keep going. So it's definitely one to get invested in.
Yeah, they're like on a roll with those books. I feel like there's a new one every like 8 months. That might not be true. Don't quote me on that.
I just wanted to comment on how cool all of Alex's atlases were. My favorite one was the just the creatures and monsters one. What a cool idea to make that. Like, I love atlases always, but that just never would have occurred to me. And like Dracula and Yeti kind of in the places where the storybooks originated from. Really cool. That was one that I put on hold right away.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a total cheater move. Like it's like barely new. But yeah, I found it and I loved it so much that I had to include it. So
Spooky Scary Skeletons is a vibe that I'm here for. And I love that one. I also thought the America Atlas was also really cool. I did not know Queen of Bologna was a thing, but I'm officially putting my name in for running.
Same.
Both of them are really interesting.
Yeah, you guys found so much stuff that I had just not come across yet. And it was just like so exciting. Like the Boxcar Children, like that's still a thing that's going, you know? So yeah, watched your segments and placed like a ton of holds.
Yeah, it is really fun to learn about new books coming out. I had heard that, I didn't know that Goldie Vance had migrated from graphic novels to real, not real, but to, chapter books. And so that was super cool. And I loved how they incorporated the graphic novel, like pictures still into the chapter books. That was great.
Yeah, and it like happens a couple of times in the book, and I just thought it was so exciting. And like, not that like I can't like sit down and read a whole book, but sometimes it's a nice little like palate cleanser,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I must find out who stole the swim cap.
Gotta read the book. No spoilers here.
Well, it was a great first episode, in my opinion. Of course, I'm a little biased, but we hope that you all enjoyed it too. And we will be airing an Off the Shelf each month featuring books for 3rd through 5th graders. So make sure you tune in next month to see what new books we'll be sharing with you. And hope you found some things that you might be interested in reading. See you next time.
Happy reading.